Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got quite a handy looking rack. I would have patagial through an A, and there may be some other 8s available. Well, no A. Do I have anything with an M? Not that I can see. How about the O? I'm just wondering about topalgia. Not sure about that. Could there be an anagram? And let me just consider the W. Nothing there. I'm going to check topalgia. I don't think it's good. And it is good. Wow, and this is going to be interesting because it stops one square short of the bottom, and I'm sure it takes an S. So topalgia for 63. I don't draw an S, but I have a fairly balanced rack. Could there be an 8 here? I'm certainly not seeing a 7. I've got the bio prefix. I've got the oid ending. Now, that oid ending looks quite useful. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of something to do with grapes. Maybe it will come to mind. But the floaters, A, not seeing anything there. A botryoid is what I'm thinking of. And that's only got one eye, so I don't have anything with that. L, not seeing anything. G, no. I and A don't look good. However, I have a couple of good scoring tiles in the B and the Y, and I'm looking to play off at least one of the I's. So do I have a double-double in row K? I've got bird as a component part of a word. I've got bodily in row K, which certainly sorts the rack out and scores reasonably well. I'm just wondering if opponent doesn't have an S, whether I should be taking out that hook. And even if I wish to do so, can I? It's not obvious how to do that. Well, I've got bro, but that leaves a terrible rack leave, and in any event, bro doesn't obstruct the hook. Opponent takes it, just 51 points, could have been a lot worse. And, well, what I could do is this. Songbird for 45, decent score, pretty awful rack leave. But if I look at bodily, 24 points, this is 21 more points. And the rack leave after bodily wasn't 21 points better than IOY. I'm going with this. Wow, great pickup. The rack could have deteriorated significantly. So this is pretty good, and I'll be on the lookout for a bingo here. I suspect there are going to be some 8s. And quite a few floaters to consider. And I note that I've got the phon and phony ending. With that in mind, I'm just quickly looking at the floaters in topalgia. So the L, not suggesting anything. How about the G? I've got the ing ending. I've got the hypo prefix. Not seeing anything, and the vowels don't look useful. How about the floaters in songbird? Well, the G replicates the one in topalgia. The B not useful as the final letter of a bingo. How about R and D? So again, I've got the oid ending, but I'm not seeing anything. However, this is still a good rack because I've got some good scoring tiles and there's some synergy going on, so I should have a choice of candidate plays. Now Mo takes an N after it. It also takes an A and an S. So can I get some of my high scoring tiles on these triple letter squares? And I'd like to get one on each. Certainly I could play any, but that would only be for 23 points. Let me go back to row K. Do I have a double-double through this L? Well, not that's come to mind. Surely I can do better than 23 points. The opponent taking a while with this play. If he's got the blank, he's got a lot of floaters to consider in respect of a bingo. I guess the M and T are also floaters. That doesn't assist. Topalgia is a difficult word to play parallel to, and I'm contemplating that to reduce the number of floaters since I'm ahead. I would have to place an A to the left of the G if I was playing in column 7. And then I don't have anything to go in front of the L, so that's the problem with column 7. Great, just 21 for opponent. And he may have provided a way for me to take out these floaters and to get an additional score. So I can play Hain, and I'm hesitating because of the rack leave. That's 31, and it's good to get over 30. But let me put this back. Can I do better than that? Can I put my Y in front of the A? No, I can't. So, well, what I could do is hypoing, which I think is good. That's 32 points, and it clears out the Drek, and it obstructs all of these floaters in Topalgias, and the rack leave of A is a lot better than OPY. I'm going with this. Through an S, I would have nuisance. Is there a 7 here? I have the un prefix. And what about plays ending D or R? I have nuance on my rack. That doesn't contribute to a bingo. I feel there are some 8s here, but none has come to mind. Well, it just has uncinate, and that plays in row G. Fantastic. And that may remain available. Hypoing has created a couple of hotspots. The tile to the left of the Y, the triple letter square, and the O next to the double word square. So uncinate may remain available. Do I have anything else? What about a play ending with L? Not seeing anything. So supposing uncinate is blocked. Well, I do have an N for, wow, fantastic bingo for opponent, 89 points. He has both blanks. So one good thing is that they've both gone. Opponent can't play anymore. And opponent only leads by 40 points. And my bingo remains available. And look at this, 5 R's to come. And I mention that because uncinate takes an R in front and possibly a D at the end, but certainly an R in front. but I'm not going to turn down a bingo. I don't draw an R, but this is quite a good rack. Always nice to see an S. And the J is a scory tile. So where can I play it? Hypoing blocks Egypt. I do have Egypt on my rack. Can't see anywhere to play that. Very few J spots on the board. Well, I have inject in column 4, which is quite nice. My lead is only 40 points with opponent on turn. Okay, well, opponent burns an R, and he didn't play Volary in column 1, and he could have done. That suggests to me that he doesn't know the hook. That could be useful. And that means it would be good to turn over tiles to increase my chances of drawing an R. So what was I thinking of? Inject, not eject. Inject, a much better rack leave. I don't have an N, that's why this isn't going down. That's annoying. So I have eject with a rubbish rack leave. I've got jive, but that takes a lot of hooks. So I'd like to play off EIJ because the rack leave of EIST is very good, and jive does that. But with 3 Ds, 4 Rs, 2 S's, it's an invitation for a big score. So what would be better would be Jester for 58. Great score, atrocious rack leave, especially with 3 I's to come. However, 58 points is a huge score, and we are neck and neck. Do I have anything better in this spot? Not that I can see. Wow, such a dreadful rack leave, especially compared to EIST. But what can I do? I'm just not seeing any 30-point plays for J, I, and E. Just looking at the U of uncinate, 14 minutes on my clock. I'm not convinced this is best. The score's attractive, but such a shocking rack leave. I could play jives. Jester has got to be better than that. I'm going with this. Wow, great pickup. Do I have a bingo? I don't have a 7, but there's quite a lot of floaters to consider, and I have only 1-point tiles, so if I don't have a bingo, I'm not going to be scoring very much, or probably not. Double IU, unpromising. 34 for opponent. So I actually have 5 vowels, which isn't great, so I just need to consider the consonants. Not seeing anything with the N. Or the V. How about the L? No, not seeing anything. So, how to sort the rack out? Well, getting rid of the U and the I would do the job. Uzi, not good yet. And what about playing in column 15 to take out column 15? And look at this, my lead, just 18 points. 12 minutes on my clock, so I have plenty of time. A2 isn't good, it's A2 which is good. It would be nice to keep scoring. Wow, tricky position to be in. Because the rack leave after playing off just UI is very good, but there aren't very many floating consonants, so I could easily draw vowels and have a tricky rack next turn. So, well, I'm thinking about ANI. That's keeping the U. Surely I can do better than that. And I do want to get rid of the U. There are still 2 more to come. The Q's gone. And it's the main blocker in terms of bingoing. But I'm just not seeing anything. GU is good. There must be a way of playing off this U. And one of the I's. That's all I want to do. Well, what about changing? What about changing U, I, and I? No, I'm not doing that because I think INEA has to be better. INEA for 21, keeping ESU. I'm going with this. And I draw an R for Runsonate. Fantastic. So I could play Zerus in column 1 for a decent score. What else do I have? And are there any hot X spots on the board? Just 1 R in the bag. Great, and opponent plays it. Well, there is a hot X spot, and I think I'm going to take it because I can do this, XU, and I'm retaining an R for Runsonate next turn, and opponent can do nothing about that. So Zoo for 52, just pausing in case I can get anything similar with XI, and I can't, so I'm going with this. So I can play Reek. Only 34 points, so not massive. I could play Rescue. Well, no, the W's on the top row. Wow, nice play by opponent. So look at this. I lead by only 20 points and there are still 19 tiles to come. I don't have to be in a hurry to play Runsonate. And I'm looking in row A to see if I can get value from this W. And I can, because I can play Crew, keeping the R for Runsonate and scoring 36 points. And this is quite a good rack leave, and I'm stopping opponent from playing in row A. Well, not great, but it could be worse. I could play Rav in column 1. Barely 30 points. Through IL, I would have Havildars, but IL not good. My H could go next to the E of Fritz, so I could play Had in that spot. I could play Aha in that spot. Let me check the remaining vowels. 12 out of 22, quite a lot. Now, the remaining tiles are pretty bingo-y. How problematic is that? An opponent interrupts the spot that I was considering for my H. Remaining tiles bingo-y. Bingo lane certainly through the I of right, through O, L and A of volery. 9 minutes on my clock. So, what am I looking to do here? I've got a lead of about 40 points, which is good. Uzo is only 14, which is fantastic. I'd like to retain the R because of Runsonate. That's probably a 30-point play. So how can I get rid of anything else which scores well and maybe interrupts bingo lanes? I can't get my V tripled. Can't see a V play ending L or A. This rack actually isn't particularly promising. So what I could do is had 26 points is quite good. I'm taking out all of the floaters in volery, leaving just the I of right and the R. I'm sorting out the duplicates and I'm leaving just one high scoring tile, and I've got a good vowel consonant balance, and this rack will go quite well with an E. And I'm not setting up anything massive for opponent. I'm going with this. Great. I have bingos, sevens. I'm not sure there's anywhere to play them. So I have servant, versant and taverns. Where are the floaters? None of which begin with R. So do I have something through the I? Well, it looks like I could do, but I'm not seeing it. I would have Ravenous through an E. Unsonate does not take an S. The O of Uzo is not a bingo floater. Column 11, just about available for bingos, ending in A. D and L available, so I'm not really seeing anything. What I do have is Raven in column 1 for 35 points, which could be really useful given that I've got a bingo's lead now. Am I missing any spots? Well, row N is a bingo lane for bingos ending IA or IA something. I don't have an I. Volery takes nothing in front. Uzo takes nothing in front. So where I am at the moment is I'm thinking about Raven, but that's partly going to be influenced by how many tiles are in the bag. Now let me revisit this. Well, revisit the R and I of right, and I haven't considered the R so far, but I'm not seeing a bingo with that. Is there really no bingo here? Retain plus AV. Well, certainly there's no 7-letter bingo with retain plus a V. So it couldn't just be an S hook bingo. But that doesn't mean there couldn't be some other bingo, and it would certainly be high probability. I think it would have come to mind if there was one. So supposing there are only a few tiles left in the bag, well, I guess I've got Rav leaving a very good 4-letter set. Opponent down to just 6 minutes. And from his perspective, the remaining tiles will look very bingo-y, because from his perspective, the unseen pool will include A-E-N-R-S-T. The remaining pool less bingo-y from my perspective. But my rack is bingo-y. Column 3 is available for a 10-letter bingo beginning something O. I can't see anything. Now, what I haven't considered are the 2-letter sets created by HAD. Not seeing anything with HO. How about AL? I've got the trans prefix. Not seeing anything there. How about DA? Again, nothing. Opponent has spent quite a while on this move. Interesting. Just 10 points, which is great. But what it means is that I can play Raven, retaining the E, which is good. So I'm retaining a good 3-letter set, and I'm leaving 2 tiles in the bag. Let me just pause in case I'm playing this too quickly, and I am, because I have Ravenist. Wow. I think I actually mentioned that play. Ravenist for 97. Bang! That was so nearly missed. Wow. That would have been absolutely sickening. I'd have felt as sick as a dead dog in a ditch if I'd missed that, but I didn't. So, I now lead by 150. The game is won. Just wondering if I played that too quickly. Is there an anagram of Ravenous, which was a triple Avantras? I think I might have just missed out on a triple. And now I do feel as sick as a dead dog in a ditch. Avantras was available. And breathe. So fixated on this wretched Runcinate hook. That was just played too quickly. Avantras. There are 2 anagrams of Ravenist. Ravenist, Avantras, and something else. Veterans. Yeah. Okay, so the game is won on the positive side. And I've got a decent rack leave, failed, and a field. And I'm wondering if Runcinate takes a D. If it does, failed would play quite nicely there. No, it isn't. Wow. Avantras, that is painful. Wow, but I guess it would have been even more painful if I'd played Raven, which would have been desperately rubbish in comparison. So, what to do with this rack? Opponent's got quite a nice rack. Could he be going out? So he has this rack plus an I or an R. So Utricles doesn't play. And then he's got these double letter sets to consider. So I don't think he's going out with a bingo, which means I get to have 1 more turn. And I haven't seen an out for myself yet. I can't see anything through the I. What about beginning with the R? Or with the R? No, not seeing anything. Only 5 letters to the left of the D. So I could play Aleph there. A play beginning with T would have to end IA. Two minutes on opponent's clock, so he's using all his time, and it's going to be in vain. Now my F can go underneath the O of Uzo. Not seeing anything there. So I haven't really seen anything. I guess I could play failed in row C, retaining an I. 24 points. Any other big F spots I haven't considered? Just looking at this AL spot. Can't see anything through that. 1 minute on opponent's clock. What about a play in column 2? Okay, so 25 for opponent. Has he provided anything for me? I don't think so. He has taken out my spot for failed. 6 minutes on my clock. Plenty of time to find avantras. So 5 for 23. Opponent is going out with lie. He's got tile. And he's got sile. So can I do better than 23 points? I'm sure I can. How long do I spend looking? Well, what about the OV spot? 26. But that would need to be longer to be better. I'm going with this. 5 for 23. I'm sure opponent will be going out, and if he doesn't, then I certainly will be. I have clad in row B. And maybe something else elsewhere. Lad and Liu in row F. And the final score, 401 for my opponent, 527 for me, a winning margin of 126 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. So, opponent to go first, and he has the blank. Plays Mo. And I have Topalgia, which was a great start for me. Opponent's got the S and the blank, but the wretched Q stops him from bingoing. He could have got 84 for Squeg. Instead, he played Song for 51. This is my rack. And I have Songbird for 45, which looks fine. Opponent has both blanks. Has Quotable and Baroque. Misses both and plays Chi for 21. My rack. And I play Hypoing for 32. I could have got 39 for Aphonia, N2. Yeah, quite nice. 7-point difference. Y is not 7 points better than A. Sorry, A is not 7 points better than Y, but it is quite a few points better. And Aphonia sets up quite a nice hotspot in row O, so I think there's very little between those. And I prefer the play with the better rack leave. Opponent's rack has a ton of bingos and does well to find bemoans as a 5-tile overlap. And now he leads by 37. And I play Unsonate. Opponent's rack, he does have an R. could have got 68 for a Vowry, plays Volary for 43, and this is a rack I struggled with because I couldn't find a good rack leave. And I went with Jester in the end for 58, and that scores a lot more than the other plays. So I'm happy with that. Horrible rack for opponent, plays Fritz, and now I lead by 18. And this is a rack I spent a while with, and I went with Inia in the end, and I'm not seeing anything better. Opponent's rack plays Right, and I play Zoo for 52, which looks fine. Horrible rack for opponent, lots of vowels, lots of U's, plays Fritz for 40, and now I lead by 20 with this rack. Ow! Shrieker available through the eye of Right for 82 points. Gosh, I was not expecting a missed bingo with this rack. So I play Crew for 36. Wow. And Curve B10 also available. Well, certainly Shrieker would have been best. Horrible rack for opponent. Plays Uzo. And I thought about Rav for 29. And I went with Dar for 26, or had rather, and my concern was to take out bingo lanes, and also I didn't need to be in a rush to use the Runsonate hook because I had the last R. Opponent's rack plays Ego, and here we go. Avontras for 158, and I play Ravenous for 97. 62 fewer points, 61 fewer points, so absolute dreadful miss. Just when I was delighted to have spotted a bingo and a funky hook, so I guess these things happen. And the cloud in the silver lining, or the silver lining in the cloud, is that did propel me to an unlosable position. So opponent's rack, no bingo at the end, plays Scut, and I don't have an out. Unfooled F3. Wow, that would have been quite cool. And I play 5 for 23, which is up there in the mix. And opponent goes out, wow, with live for 21, which was a really, really nice spot. So, what a game. Absolutely fantastic fun. Started off crazy fashion with Topalgia, a bingo I wasn't totally sure of, stopping one square short of row O, and opponent did have the S. Opponent had both blanks, wide open board, interesting hook for Unsonate, 9 timers available and 9 timers missed. So absolutely fantastic stuff. Many thanks to my opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.